controlled high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Oh, it's been too long. It has been too long since we've heard that sound. One more for us. Cool, refreshing, crack. That only means Uncle Kevin Meyer, Meyer's Cork and Bottle, is in the building. How you doing?
Gentlemen, I'm doing just fine. Picked up a little something in the airport in Miami, but I'm going to limp my way through it and hopefully don't cough too much on air, but I'm not contagious, so we're good.
That's what they all say.
The antibiotics have kicked in.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
We love it.
You ever been to the Miami airport?
It is not.
No,
it is
I've
not.
not.
It is not fun.
It's super unorganized and nobody speaks English. They're all Cuban.
It's not fun. And it's weirdly organized to get from one place logically to another.
Yeah.
Made sense to someone at some point, maybe? Or...
Well, no, they just outgrew what they were doing, and you build this perfect plan, and then 8 years later you have to change the plan, and you adapt rather than you're being constructive. And there's several that airport. I have a personal vendetta against Atlanta and its airport.
Really,
if you can avoid Atlanta's airport,
that's like the biggest.
I've had the most success out of the Atlanta airport than any of them.
Atlanta for me, if you have a layover in Atlanta, if you're just flying into Atlanta, you're great. But if you're connecting in Atlanta, oh man, you're going to take 2 trains, a trolley, and probably a rickshaw to get to your gate.
For me, that happens in Houston. If I'm going 100%. To Houston, guaranteed you're missing your flight and spending the night.
100%. Yeah, there's certain airports you just
on airport hotel in Miami.
Oh, it's not.
It's you just lay there and you go, I wonder how many dead hookers and kilos of cocaine this room saw
like
in the past
you
30 years.
sleep clothed, fully clothed,
Oh, yeah.
on top of a blanket. Well, the comfort that you turn inside out, and then fold. So hopefully you.
I watched my wife levitate, like literally, she just slept without touching anything.
I felt, but there was the one there that I felt like I needed to shower to recover from the shower.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, 100%.
So are there any good airports for you, DP? Uncle Kev doesn't mind Atlanta, apparently. Are there good airports for you?
Because you covered most of them, Dulles is probably, but Dulles has, you got a trolley. You have to take the trolley.
DFW is nice.
DFW is nice.
Vegas?
Vegas is just because there's so many stories.
LAX?
It's a clown show.
Yeah. You go to Vegas and literally you have to take the slow walk from your gate to baggage claim because you really want to. Like every person there is a full-on movie of, hey, I just lost my mortgage payment, to I won so much money, I'm now single, and you.
It's like the same reason you go to like the state fair, just for the rodeos.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And it's a people rodeo. Yeah. But
I like the Seattle airport. I've never had a bad time in Seattle.
I've never been there.
Denver makes me mad because Lincoln to anywhere, Lincoln's on its own little island, and you got to book it to anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, they do, and Denver does the weird thing is that Denver will always have two. See, if you're running through Denver's airport, and if I'm flying back to Lincoln, I inevitably will go from gate 95, like the last gate, to another gate. And on the way to that gate, I will pass two gates that have Lincoln at a later flight or an earlier flight leaving. And I'm constantly tempted. And it's literally, it's like 4 minutes difference between when I get to the gate and when they start to board. Like they trust that this is going to happen for you. And it doesn't always happen.
Right,
so it's and I'm no longer a runner. So if you get me, you get me.
That was me on the way out to Corvallis, right? Flying from Denver to Portland. The Lincoln flight to Denver, perfectly fine, super quick, super easy. And then I got to book it from the Lincoln terminal to the Portland terminal. It was not 15 seconds.
No.
That I set my stuff down before they started boarding.
Yeah, no. What
are we doing?
And if you're island jumping, like if you're going from one of the big airports to an island, fully expected, they are laughing at you when you book it.
You got to leave yourself at least 2.5 hour layover.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're absolutely host.
Are you a club guy at the airport?
No.
Yeah.
Are you a club guy?
I've tried it and decided it wasn't not my bag.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Hard to describe, but
hoi polloi.
I would say so. I'm just better off finding a good bar and grill that's serves a cold tap beer and that hang out there for a while.
You never know what you're getting in the clubs.
No,
you never. Becky's a club person. There are times when I understand it,
but you're a people watcher, DP. We know that about you.
Yeah, like that part, like because it's mainly because I don't normally look like the people in the club, so there's always like that little bit of, hey, you must be an athlete. No, just me.
Just a man, just like you.
Just me. I got here the same way you did.
I'm not reading the Wall Street Journal today.
Hey, that's what it is. So what'd you bring?
All right, cold beer. Let's get into it.
Let's get into a nice cold beer. This is Cross Strain Brewing, our good friends out of La Vista and Omaha. They made a premium Pils, which is short for Pilsner, and it's just a good, crisp beer tasting beer. Quick fun fact. Pilsners are lagers, but not all lagers are Pilsners.
That's like squares and rectangles.
Fair enough.
Look at him.
Math.
There's alcohol being passed along.
I haven't sipped yet.
So the term Pilsner comes from the area of the Czech Republic called Pilsen, where they make a specific type of lager. And so they use a specific type of yeast to make that lager. And so therefore a Pilsner is a lager, but not all lagers use that same Pilsen yeast. So fun fact from your old Uncle Kev.
Is there a beer called beer?
There is a beer called beer, or at least there was. Remember the plain label beer?
Yeah,
that's just called beer.
Right? Like
Yeah.
that. I think the perfect description for any beer would be a beery beer. Like
This
your
is definitely a
description.
beery beer.
Yeah, like this is you were dead on with this one.
The that was the big thing for me growing up. My mother would buy all the plain label stuff. So mac and cheese, white box, black letters, said macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese is what, no guessing.
Right. And so we ate a lot of that plain label stuff just, because we're on a budget, so come in a powdered packet.
that powdered packet. When you could get the sort of liquidy cheese.
Oh, if it was squeezy cheese?
Right, if it was a squeezy,
the high
this
level.
is, look, we were living. That's when you knew this is going to be a great week.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like, Mom, get a raise? What
happened, big baller?
That's
You
right.
came in with the soft, squishy cheese.
I like the description of this as a very beery beer.
Beery beer.
Because whenever I hear Pilsner, you bring in a Pilsner, my mind gets transported to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. For my money, best sitcom of the 21st century. But there's a character, Teddy, who gets the thrills for the pills. And, like, do you get the thrills for the pills? I just feel like it's an every man's beer. It's a beery beer, not something you get all that excited about. It's like, it does the job. It's great. It's smooth. It's solid. But do you get the thrills for the pills like Teddy?
I do, and the reason is that everything for me, and I think I can speak for a lot of other people too. In the beer world, everything has come full circle. So you start with the easy drinking light beer, your Bud Lights, your Coors Lights, your Busch Lights, your Milwaukee's Best Lights, your budget beers.
Natty Bow.
Natty
Bow. Carling Black Label.
Oh, yes, the Carling Black Label.
Schlitz.
And then you sort of gravitate onward and upward to like an amber, like a Fat Tire or a Samuel Adams Lager, or for me the gateway beer was a Samuel Smith's, which is an English, and Newcastle was another one. And then I started getting into the stouts, and then I started getting into the hoppy beers, your IPAs, and then everything was like hazy West Coast, hazy East Coast, and all I drank was IPAs for like 4 or 5 years. And to me, all other beers were boring. And I lost my taste for those. And so everything has come full circle. And what I like now is just a beer that tastes like beer. And I don't need anything more than that.
I don't drink much here in Lincoln, but when I go back to DC and visit family and friends, every now and then watching a ball game, somebody will put a beverage in front. And somebody put a Rolling Rock in front of me. And it's been 25 years since I've had a Rolling Rock.
Old Latrobe.
Rolling Rock, and then one of the Big Mouth beers.
Mickey's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I went, what is happening here?
That's a real malt liquor.
Right.
Yeah.
Mickey's was like, I had forgotten my place.
They come in the hand grenade.
Oh, bro. Austin, if you're not familiar,
I'm not.
It is a college drinkers buffet. Like, you just go, listen, if I could go Yingling, Rolling Rock, Mickey's, I'm having a really good weekend.
I just had my first Yingling not long ago. My dad got some for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's, Yingling for me is kind of like if you're from Nebraska and you move away and you can't get a Runza, right? If you live here, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if
in the Northeast, if you're from Pittsburgh, if you're from Pennsylvania, that's your lane. That is fully your lane. If like tonight for Penn State, Yingling and Rolling Rock are just falling off the shelves.
I do see the hand grenade thing from Mickey's. I looked it up. I see it.
Well,
I see it.
and they call it a big mouth because you know what the normal mouth size of a bottled beer is, right? It's about an inch in circumference, right?
Okay.
Well, the big mouths are probably like you could drop a ping pong ball in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great for college drinking.
So
games.
yeah,
or so I'm told.
So I'm told. Yes. And so there's more airflow for porridge, shall we say?
You could play high level, high stakes quarters on the Mickey's
with the hand grenade.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Shall we try to class it up or
Let's do.
Raise a glass.
Raise the glass. So this is called Mouton Cadet, and this is from the Rothschild family. And the Rothschild family is world famous in banking, in wine, in finance.
Oh, those Rothschilds.
That is an odor.
Yes, indeed.
That is a scent, sir.
So this is they're probably they're famous for Bordeaux wines, and Bordeaux is the lower left side of the country, and it's separated by the Gironde River, so it's kind of shaped like a banana. And the further north you are, the vineyards are located on the left side of the river, and the further south you get, the vineyards jump to the other side of the river. On the east side, the soils are more suitable for Merlot. On the left side, they're more suitable for Cabernet. But the French back in 1855 decided to delineate and identify the chateaus with the best history, prestige, quality, etc. And they deemed them what they call crus, C-R-U, or growths. And there was only 5 premier Grand Crus. Technically, there was 4, but they added the 5th in 1955, 100 years later. And they were Chateau Mouton Rothschild, which is the one added in 1955. Chateau Lafite Rothschild, which is what this family is from. One called Haut-Brion, Chateau Margaux, and I'm forgetting one.
The world famous
Grand Premier Cruise.
Premier Grand Cru. So Chateau Mouton, Chateau Lafite, Chateau Haut-Brion, Chateau Margaux, and I'm just forgetting the other
I'm
one.
a Haut-Brion fan myself.
Are you? I knew that about you.
This is a Power Broker's wine.
So the great thing about this wine, it comes from their estate. But it's not a classified growth wine. So you're paying for what's in the bottle instead of the history and the prestige. And Latour, Chateau Latour. Thank you. You're the best.
Look at him go.
I know I'd use the internet.
Look at him go.
What I got.
So this one is probably going to be in the neighborhood of about 60% Cabernet, about 30% Merlot. And they can only use 5 grape types to make this wine from. And the other 3 are going to be Petit Verdot, Malbec, and Cabernet Franc. Fun fact about Cabernet Franc is that it's one of the parent grapes of Cabernet Sauvignon because it used to be their primary red varietal on the left bank, and the primary white varietal is Sauvignon Blanc. Well, they would have these natural hybridized wild vines that would pop up, and they began to experiment with them. And so Cabernet Sauvignon is actually technically half red and half white. And so they took the Cabernet from Cabernet Franc and the Sauvignon from Sauvignon Blanc and became Cabernet Sauvignon. But what they found is that the wine didn't lose its intensity or ageability, but it was more elegant, more sophisticated, more silky, whereas the Cab Franc is a little more gritty, a little more earthy, kind of bitey type stuff. So
this was I had heard this described as an upscale mutation because of all of those different grape types. Sometimes there would be variations within the grapes and the degree of the grape that makes it into the bottle.
Absolutely.
That it's never the same.
That's correct.
Never the same. Always same standard, but never the same.
And they'll even take the grapes and clone them and then replant them in other areas. But again, it's never the same because it's not the same soils, it's not the same climate, and it's really not even the same grape type, even though genetically it's very, very close.
So it's the thing with this one, I remember from those taste class, that this is one that really you could take 3 bottles of this, put them in different glasses, and ask people to identify. And you really can't. You really can't.
That's 100% fair.
I'm not going to lie. This wasn't what I expected. When I first got it on my nose, it's like, oh, this is, I had an idea of it. This is so smooth. It's a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. Not as heavy-handed with the dryness. Like, well, on the nose, I'm like, oh, this is going to be pretty dry, so I kind of prepared myself for it. But that was smooth. That's good.
What's the Sinbad movie where he has a wine taster?
Oh,
he starts to describe it smooth.
Adrian Fiala, that was one of his favorites, and he would send me the video. Yeah. Oh gosh, what was that movie?
Does it sound like you need a house guest?
House guest.
It sounds like you need a date.
Good stuff. Well, the French like for their wines to be more elegant. They're a little more sort of, I want to say sophisticated is fair, a little more cerebral. They also like you to taste what they call the terroir or the terrain. And that's essentially the soils and the minerals that the grapes are grown in. They want that to be the wine's identity. Here in the U.S., we like bigger, bolder, more in-your-face flavors. We like it more extracted, and we like you to taste more of the fruit components, like your black cherry and things of that nature. Your plum.
Tongue versus palate.
Right. Fair. Yeah.
Tongue versus. This is a palate wine.
Absolutely.
This is a palate wine. That aftertaste, the terrain shows up in the top of your mouth, and it kind of sits there for you to kind of bask in it. There are some wines that are more flavorful to the tongue, but this is a palate wine.
Well spoken. Yeah, I think that sums it up precisely. Yeah, and these are on the shelf for $30. So if you buy a new vintage of Chateau Mouton Rothschild First Growth, you're talking $2,500, $3,000.
Oh.
And so, and the French are master manipulators in the market. So what's happened is that more than half of those wines get shipped to Hong Kong, and the Chinese diplomats trade them for diplomatic favors. And so the French know that the higher the price tag, the more weight it pulls in terms of their diplomacy. And so they don't really care, because spending $3,000 on a bottle of wine might mean multi-millions of dollars of diplomatic favors if you're greasing the right hands. And so, but the irony of it all is that when they go to drink them, it doesn't fit their palate. It's too dry for them. So they mix it with Coke, believe it or not.
Yeah. And liquor Coke. Or at least we hope. But I think this may be, if I was ever going to, and I know I offend people when I say this, I'm a well done steak person, but if I was gonna go medium well, this is what I would have with it. This is like I can actually feel this with
you. Need to come to my house, and I will grill you a steak that's medium, little bit pink in the middle, and it'll change your mind.
I spent 4 years in DC's finest steakhouse, and I had chefs from every major hotel group try me, and they just my grandmother was strong.
Yeah,
my grandmother was strong. She put it in me, man. That listen, baby, don't let them tell if they love you if they won't cook it. They won't cook it done. She would just. I mean, I just hear her voice, and that's where it is.
I get it.
I'll take your offer though. Anytime you want to stake me.
Speaking of where it is, where's the store, Kev? Where can people find you?
We are at the corner of 13th and South Streets, 1244, and just on that what would be the northwest corner. And look for the neon. It's a classic symbol of Lincoln, Nebraska. We've been on that corner since 1965, and it's been in my family since 1978.
We love it. Go check him out. Make sure you do that. 2 for 2 today, Kev. Welcome back.
Take care.
This is Old School. We'll be right back to the show.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right to the source through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, Schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin Orman. Once again, happy Thirsty Thursday. appreciate Kevin Meyer Cork and Bottle stopping in, bring good vibes and good libations and good times as well. Meyer Cork and Bottle is located at 13th and South, and they have a great staff and great atmosphere. Then obviously a great lineup of any type of beer, wines, or alcohol that you need. But we are brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients of Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andromat, and 168th and Maple up there in the O, or the Metro, whatever you want to call it. I got about 7 minutes so we can get back up on time. I guess one of the biggest news, we'll get into Nebraska portal news, and obviously as we move into Notre Dame versus Penn State in the 5 o'clock hour. Big news today, or one of the bigger news stories, is Carson Beck from the Georgia quarterback has decided to enter the portal. And obviously just reading this article and reading the notes here, at one point in time he was projected potentially, and that doesn't mean anything because it was probably, NFL Scout 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at Yahoo or whatever and his dorm room was projected potentially as the number 1 overall pick based on what he did last year or the previous year with the Georgia Bulldogs. Probably a unique decision, but you started to hear about it, I think, that he potentially could go into the portal or to another school even before he got hurt in the SEC championship because, in some people's minds, his draft stock started to slide. I probably think that if he didn't get hurt, he's still in the NFL and he still goes first round. When people start to study his tape, a lot different than Will Levis. Will Levis had some issues in what you've seen in like maturity issues, whereas Carson Beck is pretty mature. I think Georgia receivers led the nation in drops. And plus he had a really good year before. So that kind of masked it. Now, him getting hurt was probably he had no other choice. You go back to college. If he goes to what it says here, Miami, you're going to have a plethora of skill position guys, warm weather, a little bit lesser competition, ACC, and get back on track. And you'll have a year under your belt, ideally, of that elbow injury, being fully healed. I think if it was like a high ankle sprain or something like that, he's definitely still in the draft. But when it's your elbow, and I think it's on his throwing arm, is probably the best decision that he was able or made. On top of it, which is interesting, and you'll see this probably with Quinn Ewers here coming up here pretty soon, with his up and down season this year. There will be a gold pot of gold coins at the end of the rainbow to stay another year in college at another university, and he's been projected to even go to Oregon.
We don't see this a whole lot, but it makes sense for Carson Beck, I think, because of the injury and because I think Carson Beck has a chance to rebuild a lot of value for people by coming out pretty quickly, right? Saturday, August 30th, Miami opens the season against Notre Dame. Okay, that's a college football playoff semifinalist at the very worst right now. Bethune-Cookman, South Florida, then they get Florida at home. That's another really good shot against the Florida team that I think is going to have some hype next year, given the way they finished the year with DJ Lagway and whatnot. Then they get Florida State. We'll have Louisville, NC State, Stanford, Syracuse, Pitt, and SMU on the road, as well as Virginia Tech on the road. That's a manageable slate with plenty of opportunities for him to get back in that conversation if Miami is indeed where he ends up. But this is kind of a novel decision to see a guy that's in the conversation for 1-1 end up falling back to the pack and then not just returning to school for another year, but entering the transfer portal for his final year.
Yeah, well, I think probably sometimes you can be good at a place and you definitely don't appreciate it. Georgia is not a place you really go to play quarterback. They have not.
But Eric Zaire will fight you on that.
Well, he was
about Aaron Murray,
or was it Bobo or whatever his name
Mike
is.
Bobo.
Quincy Carter will fight you on it.
Yeah, they could probably win. That's fine. But I'm just saying, if you're a quarterback trying to go to the next level, you got to think they really messed up Justin Fields. That situation. The guy that looked like the insurance salesman that won back-to-back national championships, they had asked him to walk on not once but twice. They jettisoned him to a JUCO, came back. We don't know if you're going to be on a scholarship, and he beat out everybody. And then here comes, Carson Beck, which performed well. And it was unique circumstances where their defense really wasn't good last year because they lost however many first-round picks. He performed really, really well. Then the expectations became unrealistic. And then obviously he was just fighting an uphill battle. Now you start putting in some drops. You start to have, you got Etienne, and I think I'm looking here, Frazier, running back. You have a little bit of identity crisis. And then all of a sudden it's the quarterback's fault. And then obviously there's probably, even though his elbow injury is significant, it's not so significant that once he does his PT and rehab that he will not be back up where he needs to be. And he could probably make money, make more money coming back. He can make money by getting paid wherever he's going. And then he already increases his draft stock just by, as long as he's halfway healthy and halfway decent, he's going to get drafted in the first round.
Is it a matter that his stock is higher a year from now than it is right now?
Yeah.
And to what value? Like that whole first round conversation? I'm not sure. What a year ago, if he leaves, he's not first round.
If he left after last year, he's first round.
Yeah.
Maybe middle to bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe, and if you go there and you have the good underwear Olympics, you go up a lot higher.
Yeah.
Now with the, it'd be too much of a risk to go in there because he's not a runner. He's a big, strong pocket passer. He's actually, really athletic, more athletic than people give him credit for, but he won't be able to work out and he won't have the same arm strength at that point in time when the combine is. So and then he can go somewhere. He don't need to go through spring ball. They barely do anything. So he's not missing out on anything. And then also he's going to probably make more money this year in college, assuming to say he went to the third round versus what he's going to make in college. So it's actually the best business decision he can make.
Yeah.
And he gets to go to a new place.
Yeah. I mean, I think the place matters. The grass is not always greener when it comes to quarterbacks, especially if you're not the elite quarterback. Like I'm not sure I would have put him in the Quentin Ewers, Arch Manning.
Oh well, Arch Manning,
Gabriel Dillon,
Arch. I mean,
right? Like
this dude has played. So
but
all them other dudes that haven't played, they don't put them in the conversation.
So if let's say for the sake of conversation that it's in a pool and this young man Beck is in the availability pool next to Arch Manning. If you're a college and or pro team,
college you take Arch because he's got 3 years. Well, and this dude is just a 1 year rental. And also depends on where you're.
But if you're win now, do you take Carson Beck?
Well, that's my question. Is what is it? Where do they land? He's not a Quentin. He was in the conversation with Quentin Ewers 2 years ago. I'm not sure he's there now, and I'm not sure the kind of career he could have next year, depending on where he goes. Because wherever he goes, they have a need, and there's a reason they have a need. Now, there's 3 places where the need is simply because your guy was a 1A, B, or C, and he left. Other than that, he's going to have to carry. It'll be for the first time in his career. He has to carry a program. He'll have to carry wherever he goes. He's on the cover of the ticket and the game program and the NIL package.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, when you watch his tape, I mean, he actually probably had a better year throwing the ball this year than he did last year.
Okay,
he just didn't have Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Delp is whatever his name is, number 4 is like Brock Bowers, like little brother. The receivers are horrible. I mean, the receivers are just bad. And here's where people like run into trouble, and when they get in the transfer portal or potentially looking at the transfer portal, and you don't like the grass is greener. You could look at Miami and see Cam Ward and the success he's had. Right, he set the NCAA record. I think that's part of the reason why he only played a half. I'm reading right here. But you don't play like Cam Ward, and Cam Ward don't play like you.
Right.
So if you look at at those numbers or what he did, and you think, and you're not realistic of what you can and can't do, you're going to go down there and fall on your face, because a lot of the plays that Cam Ward and a lot of the plays in the playbook and the freedom is based off his skill set. So if your skill set is not close to it, or if you're not training to get close to it, or if you can't be somewhere in between, you're gonna go down there and you're gonna fall flat on your face.
Like they mentioned Miami, but I would almost say for Carson Beck, I'm not sure the better move is Florida State.
The options that On3 reported were Miami, Ohio State, and Texas Tech. Florida State's interesting to me, though.
Right? That if you're going to have...
goes to Ohio State, he's going to be off the chain.
Yeah. We wouldn't be happy about that.
Yeah.
We're not going to enjoy that.
Because he can run. There's no doubt about it. He can run. He's not, Cam Ward or Lamar Jackson, but he can gut punch you.
Now we can blame Jay Foreman for speaking this into existence. We will see. Carson Beck in Ohio State uniform. Thanks, Jay.
Well, they got don't they got a back? Who's their back? Who's it? Devin Brown
for Ohio State. Devin Brown, and don't
they got some freshman or something?
Did they get staying when he left Alabama, or did he leave Ohio State for Alabama?
I think they got him. I mean, he's going somewhere, and he's going to be. I mean, if he
goes at Ohio State too.
If he goes somewhere like Texas Tech, it's money driven, right?
What if it's USC?
That'd be a bad move. I mean,
there are boxes that if you're a high level quarterback leaving a program like Georgia, there are certain things that you have become accustomed to, and there are places to get that, and there are places to absolutely not get that.
Well, and it could be that's one position. If you leave Georgia, I think you upgrade because they don't emphasize pushing the ball.
Yeah.
If you go to Texas Tech with all that money and they've got millions of dollars to throw around, you're getting paid, and then also you're going to the Big 12. You getting off the bus scoring 40 points.
What about SMU?
Well, they got
super dark horse. Allard plays well for 2 more games. I know he said he's coming back, but his agent says, better strike while there until Allard declares for 25.
Yeah, then he could go to Penn State.
To Penn State.
Yeah, and that would be right in line for him too. He looks like a Penn State. He looks like a not so ugly version of Kerry Collins. So I mean, they're both,
you leave KC alone. Come on, man, you got to leave my roomie alone, bro. Like
nope.
You got to leave the roomie alone.
Yeah, I'll leave him alone. The
only
reason I leave him alone because we got.
He got his jaw broke, man. Like he can't be.
He got slept. He got up from it though.
He couldn't be pretty, right? He did have the Franken jaw.
Yeah, he's all right. he got knocked out in the locker room, and Bill Romanowski knocked him out.
Think about it. Norberto David Garrido knocked him out, broke his jaw, and then Romanowski broke his jaw.
Yeah.
So he was 0 for 2.
Yeah, he's still jaw up there. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: partly sunny skies this morning, then a chance of snow this afternoon. It'll be breezy too with the high near 38. Tonight, mainly cloudy and breezy with the low around 21. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies return. The high near 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Puckett for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right to the source through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. Quick segment. We'll get back on track, 5 o'clock hour. Also got Husker transfer portal news. And then also we got the college football playoff game tonight. Just in short, the women played last night. We saw a couple fans walking past. Was able to beat a ranked team. And then also cherry on top is I didn't even know this. I thought that she had probably scored 28 points multiple times before. But notes here that Alexis Markowski, career high, 28 points. Do you think this is also probably the time that after the Potts being injured, this is where Nebraska can kind of start to find their roles? Britt Prince is not a freshman anymore. You're almost a halfway point of the season, so you start to see some gelling of the new version of the, I guess, 24-25 team.
Well, there's certain Big Ten teams, Big Ten opponents that Nebraska matches up well with for what they do and their ability to handle pressure. What they're going to do it, as you mentioned, Britt Pence is now evolving into to a veteran player rather than that freshman. All of that extra minute that she's been getting, handling the ball, being able to make decisions. She's making smarter decisions, more mature decisions. And then the bench evolving around it and getting Hargraves getting minutes and then getting meaningful minutes where you know what you're getting from her. I think they're going to go, and it's tough to put this on her, but Colin Hake has the responsibility of leading this group. And she's a leader from all reports. She's a full-on leader on the floor and off. But it's that thing that in the Big Ten, get yours at home, find yourself, so that when you go on the road, you don't get run out. And seeing the monsters early, I don't think is going to hurt Amy Williams' staff. Going on the road to USC and UCLA early, exhale, take the coaching moment, and then hopefully, if you see them again, when you see them again, you're more mature.
I mean, it's any team sport when you have, doesn't matter whether somebody's out for an extended amount of time or say like a short amount of time. Just take some adjustment. People need to mature, and even though that like I talked about Nebraska's football team, you have some guys that are veteran players. They've been around for a long time, but every one of those players on that team is at the same maturity level of what it really takes to win. So you're right. Just because you could have a 30-year-old in the locker room, and we've seen them, the likes of like late stage Antonio Brown. And then you get a new rookie coming in and you go to the organization and you never won before. Just because a guy is 30 years old doesn't mean he knows how to win, even though Antonio Brown has won in other places. But just say if he's just a player that's been around the league for a while and hadn't learned. And so that's what they're trying to do. The bench is learning roles. You got a freshman phenom that's learning how to play in the Big Ten versus, high school. And she's played, obviously, competitive basketball in the summer, which probably allows her to be successful as she is right now and be consistent. But it is a learning curve, and it's a long season. A lot of practices, more intense, and you got to get used to it. And the season starts a lot earlier in college than it does in high school, so you got to have some wherewithal to be able to be disciplined as well. So,
and she's a coach's daughter, so that
she knows better.
Yeah.
But also, it's the first time as a coach's daughter away from the coach and / mom, even though the mom, but she's a good kid, anyways. Very disciplined, but that is an adjustment as well, right? At the same dinner table and talking about pick and roll versus at the training table, talking about whatever is going on in life is a little different. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. Come back, top of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll dive into quick portal news from Nebraska. Got another corner. We got I think Isaiah McMorris went somewhere. Decide where he's going, and a couple other guys, and then obviously we'll dive into the college football playoffs tonight. Penn State against Notre Dame. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Old School with DP and Jay. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Shavers is that man. He could go down as one of the best in football at Nebraska. Good. As a linebacker. Kids got good instincts.
Yeah. Got
great closing speed. What more can you ask for? You want him to learn as he go, but at the same time, he got to be a student of the game. This offseason is going to be big for him.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Vershawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com. or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman, Old School Crew coming at you live in effect. We are brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andremat, and 168th and Maple. We are here at 1040 O Street, 11 O Street, pretty much. A little bit of Husker news, and we'll get to some of the text. Isaiah McMorris, he was a three-star, a high three-star essentially, coming out of high school, has picked Missouri State. Is that it, right? Yeah, Missouri State. Just committed today, so congratulations to him. For him, I think when you look at it, he's a four-time state champion on some really, really good teams, where he started and then also, played roles at Bellevue West and Millard North, or Millard North first and then Bellevue West. So he played with the likes of Hunter Salas and all that, and he was the first or second guy off the bench with 10 Division I guys playing on the court. So he definitely, so that lets you know he's a competitor. Got banged up a little bit and wants to find a place where I think he wants to increase his workload, which is great. He's got 4 years, I'm assuming, to play, and I think he'll do well. And then on the flip side here, we bring in Elijah Pritchard, as far as yesterday, which became official, which is a big dude, 6'6", 330, does not have a lot of fat on him. So you're getting a dude that has been productive, starting, and brings a little attitude. So it's a 4-star transfer recruit, former 5-star recruit. And then Marquise Groves Killebrew, cornerback from Arizona Wildcats, comes in, which, I don't even know if corner was like a big, need, but I think in the Big Ten, the way it is now, when you're trying to develop a defense where you're able to try to be multiple and then obviously get the most out of the guys that you have on your present roster, bring in guys, cover corners, as we've seen with Sierra Wright, are what's needed, because you got to be able to lock up and play man-to-man. And no matter if you're playing RPO offense or a regular kind of spread offense, you got to have guys that can compete for those 50-50 balls.
And I think last year's experience plays into maybe Nebraska getting another defensive back or two over the top of what we would have guessed, because 2 years ago they were pretty settled. Quentin Newsome, Tommy Hill, felt pretty good about that. Felt good about Tommy Hill coming into the year. Bly Hill gets hurt in the spring game. Then you're bouncing back and forth between Marquise Buford making the switch from safety. Malcolm Hartzog played. And then Sierra Wright kind of developed out of nowhere. Then Tommy Hill goes down with a plantar fascia injury. You're throwing guys into that position just trying to see what you have. So I think maybe some of Nebraska's insistence on adding defensive backs in the transfer portals, that it is a position that gets banged up enough. It's a volatile position, and they saw it this last year.
Yeah, and I think you got the best version of Hartzog at kind of a safety, kind of do it all, right? He can blitz off the corners, tough kid, smart, great leader, and all that stuff. And he had 4 interceptions, kind of playing that safety position, kind of opposite of Gifford. And then same with Buford. He's actually probably a little bit more of a field safety. So then you can get some, more tread out of him. So you're bringing in some pure corners. And I'm seeing reading right here, you got Jameer Khan as well. And so you got some young guys. So it's going to be a ton of competition, obviously with the new defensive back coach, potentially. And then obviously John Butler going to defensive coordinator as well. There will be some sort of, I'm assuming some sort of like, not schematic change, but idea change of how you want to handle your corners. I mean, when a new coordinator takes over, it could be the same defense, but you want to play different coverages a different way, potentially. And that means you're going to have a different body type at corners as well.
Well, but I mean, it's also the hit the ground running question. I mean, Tony White was here for 2 years. The majority of players played under Tony White and that staff. This is a different staff, different verbiage, different critical moment decision making. And I think that's a big part of this too, right? That, listen, we don't know what the critical moment play calling is going to look like. How do you get yourself out of a tough situation? What do you do in third and fourth and short? How do you like to rotate your defensive backs? What do you do with your bigs up front? All of those things change. Like literally everything we know about Nebraska's defense changes.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and you can have the same. I mean, you're saying you can have the same players. Forget the portal. Just say you had 15 guys that were on the team last year, and then the same 15 this year. But Jay Foreman's the coordinator. It's going to be different because the way I view like 3rd and 4 is different than before. I think with Coach Butler and then obviously Phil Snow both having, obviously Phil Snow's been coaching in college forever, and then in the pros, and then Butler playing in the pros. I think the team effort of that will help and be a little bit potentially more innovative. Maybe that's why you're looking at more kind of cover corners, to be more strategic and innovative on your 3rd down package. I think Coach Rule said something about it. But ultimately, how you play up front and your philosophy, is going to change some. But then it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And right now, every year it seems like you'll have some holdovers, but then it'll be how well can you bring in, this year might be a little bit more, but like say it's an average of like 4 guys on defense and throw them in there and then continue to move forward.
What is your philosophy especially for defensive coordinators? It's different. That this coordinator, we don't know what his approach on first down is. Is he aggressive? Is he proactive to keep them out of second and short situations? Is he a risk taker on first down, or does he play conservative and trying to hold them in the space? Second and short, second and long. What's your philosophy? Are you, hey, listen, I'm going to bring extra heat off the corner. Do I like my pressure coming from up the middle? Because some defensive coordinators would rather pressure in the eyes of the quarterback rather than on the perimeter. Yeah. And then finally, what do you want to do? What will your ideal defense look like on the back end, no matter what the down and distance is? Right?
I think the experience, more in particular from Butler, and this has nothing to do with philosophy of having to coach in the pros and deal with you might have your 6 top guys on Monday, and then you play 2 games and you down from 6 to 3. And then here comes 3 new guys, probably 2 from the practice squad, 1 guy that was released, and you bring him in. I think he has the ability to coach and develop on the fly. So I think that'll lend some, a little bit of ease doing that in the season. But I also think from his experience in the pros and obviously with Phil Snow is that it can be more game to game, because how you defend, let's say, okay, we're going to get into Penn State. How you defend Penn State versus say Illinois is a lot different based on, is Allard your quarterback or Illinois' quarterback's back? Because Illinois' quarterback probably gives you a little bit more of I guess I'll call it emergency run threat. Now because he will pull it down quicker.
Yep.
Whereas Aller will pull it down to throw. Then he'll run at the last resort. And also there'd be more designed runs with Illinois versus Penn State.
Well, it's what do you want to do again with the middle pressure? If I'm against Notre Dame, middle pressure makes
Oh,
sense.
you're talking about the game tonight.
Right.
Okay, if I'm the game tonight, if I'm Notre Dame, well, first of all, it's everything's predicated on Abdul Carter. Because if he's there, he's your ultimate eraser.
And do you have a guy, right? So
now it's kind of catch-22 because if you look at Penn State's defense against Boise, they were hot at the beginning of the game. But once Boise kind of settled in and kind of figured out, okay, we can kind of play with these dudes, you start to see Ashton Genty get busy a little bit. But then also you start to see some breakdowns. So the things that you got away with in the first half, meaning two guys in the same gap. Well, Boise State was out there seeing three, and they didn't hit it. You know, they say when you get your bell rung and there's three, hit the guy in the middle. They weren't hitting anybody. So if Notre Dame is able to take advantage of that, then that eliminates anything that Penn State tries to do up the middle. And Penn State's going to have to win first down. They're going to have to, if they do not win first down on offense and defense, this game is over.
Well, that's why I looked at it, because I think these two games today and tomorrow will kind of let Nebraska fans look and see what is Big Ten football go. We know that Big Ten reacts to success.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be adjusting to Oregon, but no, the Big Ten is going to spend its time reacting to Ohio State and Penn State because they're giving you the extra tape. If you're a defensive coordinator for Nebraska, when you look at this, what are you looking for? And does it fit? Do you have the personnel to compete with this caliber of Big Ten good football play?
Yeah. I mean,
right? That. Austin, you made the face, but that's kind of my point is I would love to be a fly on the wall at whatever coach watch the Huskers defense and offensive sides are going to go through. Because, Jay, you could probably, being in those rooms, they see what they see. And then that tells them, well, wait, we don't have anybody that can do that.
Yeah.
Or we don't have, here's a scheme that we have that would work.
Right.
And then here's something that we might need to circle back to and fix.
Well, it's two different types of teams though. So you got the two teams that are probably the most explosive, Ohio State and Texas, looking at each other. Athlete to athlete, that you'd be sitting up there thinking like, no, because Texas, they're both athlete to athlete. If not the best in the nation. You got to look schematic wise up front. What can you do to have success? Nebraska has a recent game, which is just 2 months ago, where they were able to win on the line of scrimmage and probably left maybe the most meat on the bone from a physicality standpoint of winning and enough stalemates that they left yards out there offensively as far as in the run game. Left yards out there offensively as far as hitting some open guys, and defensively being able to maybe be a gap, maybe not as gap strong in the second half, to really put the pressure on them for Ohio State not be able to hit a couple of those big passes. So you can sit there, and that's one where you can say, okay, this is what we need to replicate. But then you got to look at like Notre Dame and Penn State, two teams that are kind of more of the lineup, special teams, defense, physical, try to hit you over the top. Now you got to look, for me, I would look at more schematics. Okay, what do they do schematic wise that has been successful and transferable through Manny Diaz and Tom Allen? Because it's the same players. And they have, and Penn State, I don't think, did a lot transfer portal defensively. And they've been pretty good. So you got to look at, okay, what do they do that's been like a foundation between those two really good coordinators, and then look at Notre Dame and what they do, and then see if you have the guys to replicate that in your playbook. I wouldn't go copy for copy because they own it and that's who they are. But I think if you can watch these tapes and find things that they do well and not try to add it to you in your own way, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You're making your job a little bit harder. And I think, building depth and building identity is going to be huge. And I think the biggest thing that you could do is develop a certain type of attitude across the line of scrimmage from whenever they start, whenever they come back to here to Nebraska and start working out or whatever. All the stupid stuff is over. Whether you want to go to the portal, like all that stuff needs like it literally probably needs to be the players and sure the coaches, because I always say this: the coaches lay the blueprint. Okay, this is the new blueprint, and then everybody under. I would probably say this: everybody under that's not a like first in line coach, so like your, I guess, assistant linebacker coach. I'm sure they maybe work with the players more. I don't really know all the rules. Those guys on down, you just shut the door. This is how this is going, and everybody's the same. And then this is where we're going forward. And this is not recognizing that you have Dylan's the starting quarterback, and he's all. We're not sitting up here saying that he's not going to start, but the standard has to be the standard.
Well, to know what the highest level of Big Ten quarterbacks, what the play is,
right,
is the standard for the entire offseason. And then you have to go position by position, down in distance for circumstance and consequence, and then roster depth to be able to look and go, wait a minute, do we have an answer for the things that were wrong last year? Can we replicate what we did that was successful? And then the things that don't, okay, we went and got Silverback. We think we may have another offensive lineman to kind of raise all the boats in that water. But does that make you a better running game or a better passing game? Because they're different strengths. You bring in a cornerback that's played in big conference moments, but what was his skill set? What was he really good at that you can use to better the team? So if you said there's a need for Nebraska secondary, while it's not the brightest and loudest need, we also know that it would have been nice to have another dog in the defensive backfield in the Big Ten against these receivers.
Sure, and it gives you like some flexibility, but I think like before you even get to that, before for Nebraska and every team start, like, schematics is out the door right now. Like, that's why I said there's a separation between the coaches. All of them are coaches, but the coaches, they need, like, they set the blueprint. They go work on the blueprint upstairs. You worry about all that stuff. You get in there, you shut the door and say, listen, okay, last year was okay and good. That's fine. That was last year. It's no different as if you were 10-2 and maybe you were a lucky 10-2. Not a lucky, but say you exceeded expectations 10-2. That was last year. And a team that people don't like you hear and talk about, the same thing with Colorado. Look, Travis Hunter ain't here to like make a game-saving play and cause a guy to fumble. The first round pick or maybe the number one quarterback, Shador, ain't here. Whether you like him, Shiloh's not here. Westmoreland's not here. Jimmy Horn's not here. So that's great, 10-2. But this is the new 2025. And the pressure and the expectations have got to you start it right then. Because I would rather you start it right then at a highest level that they cannot really perceive that you're thinking of. And then as you go over, that will be their new norm. And then when you have to know when you need to taper off when you get ready to camp, then you're not even losing anything. You're actually operating at a higher standard than you had the year before. So when you think about what DB's talking about, the ability to make plays under pressure, catch the ball and have receivers that are going to catch the one against Iowa or all that type of stuff, that stuff is already kind of like built into what you do in whatever February and in the standard that you set. Because once you start doing that, and that's when player 1 to 105, there is no difference. Like nobody, like all the game stuff, that's got to go. It's fun. Let those guys do what they need to do. The most important thing is the work. No more talking, because this is you thought last year was pressure, like for some of those guys. Hey man,
and you added 4 teams that like punching people, and Penn State takes a step up. Like that old adage of, well, Penn State's Penn State. No, Penn State's got a chance to be different.
But they got pressure too,
right?
Because everybody has every year is pressure packed. Because here's why: Penn State leveled up. Now, probably a lot of it was circumstances. SMU, Boise State, but they only can beat who they can play or told to play. But the perception is higher. So now they're fighting the ugly ghost that they are closer to Ohio State, or at least at that time Michigan, but Ohio State, say Oregon, and whoever else is perceived at that level. Now you have to operate as if you're there, even if you don't have the talent that's there. Even if Drew Aller decides to go to the pros, you can't afford to take a step back. You can't afford to go back to the same as James Franklin, where you look unprepared when you go play Michigan, or you get in a dogfight against, Maryland, and Mike Loxley ends up beating you, or Brett Bielema on a sleepy November brings 10 offensive linemen in there and he runs the ball every single play, or Michigan runs the ball the whole second half. You can't do that anymore. So it's no different. It's just the script is the same. It's just different. It's just different words in it for every team. Now, the pressure I've used to feel, pressure is just stress you haven't dealt with.
Don't have an answer for it.
Well, because you ain't dealt with it.
Just don't have an answer for it. It's like,
well, you ain't dealt with it because it's going to be out there. Because if you have to get better, and if I needed to get bigger, faster, and stronger, or if I needed to get bigger to play middle linebacker versus outside linebacker, and then I kind of pushed off what I needed to do until April. Well, once we get to September, the pressure isn't on Coach DP. The pressure is
looking you dead square in the eye.
Right. Because I hadn't dealt with it. Because if I had dealt with it earlier and say like April, then Coach DP and at that time Mike Arthur and Boyd and our nutritionists, we could have dealt with it.
I can hear your uncle say, "Boy, what are you looking at me for?"
Right.
What are you looking down here for?
Right. And everybody has, some teams have more answers, I'm assuming, at this point in time.
Yeah.
But those answers can turn to options based on how people live their life from January to I don't know what's June. Those things.
What do we do here? Well, I wasn't part of what we practiced.
Well, if you keep going back to what you did 2 years ago, how good you were 2 years ago, this is where you hear when you read some of these articles or something. Oh, well, in 2022 he started. I don't care. Because you want to know why I don't care that what he did 2 years ago or in high school? Because the guys you play on Saturday, I guarantee you they don't care.
They do not care.
They've shown you don't care. And so, if we have that type of attitude, then you potentially, if everybody kind of embodies that, and there's other things that go into it, you could probably make a magical run. And then, you just never know what team would be good and what can change. I'm telling you, if it's a 10 toes down type of mindset, you can change things rather quickly.
When does the portal close?
I don't think
seemingly never anymore.
Yeah,
I don't think the portal ever closes.
So then it'll be a thing where the things you have to get in place pretty quickly. Students are back end of month.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Right. That you can see whether they took care of themselves.
Well, yeah, that's the most important thing.
Right?
I
did you work?
Yeah.
Or did you enjoy yourself?
I mean, real quick before we go to break, if me and you were competing for a position, whether we both started or both played or we both were going for a spot, and you had to work on whatever you had to work on, and say I needed to say like teams like, okay, I like my Sam linebacker to be anywhere from 215 to 220 or 210 to 220, and I needed to get into that middle benchmark. Well, the last month is a perfect time to show up and be like, man, that he's, what
Foreman was working.
Right. And then they can trust you. And then when they trust you, they will play you. And that will, in every year, you're getting that first impression. Because if you show up, look like, I've seen guys, look like, man, you
boo-boo the fool.
Look like a basketball player trying to play outside linebacker. Everything's documented too.
That only works tight end, that outside linebacker.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Not even that anymore. They're looking for them.
Yeah, they're looking for those small forwards that got in the weight room. But anyways, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Orman. We'll take a quick break. We're going to dive into Marcus Freeman versus my man from Penn State,
Shorty Light.
James Franklin. Has the mind games? Will the mind games work against Freeman? It will Freeman be able to put that to the side and coach this game.
Brother Light skin. Brother Light.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, partly sunny skies this morning, then a chance of snow this afternoon. It'll be breezy too with the high near 38. Tonight, mainly cloudy and breezy with the low around 21. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies return. The high near 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Men's health is not a game at Limitless Male. It's serious medicine. We're not a West Coast franchise with a one-size-fits-all approach. Every man is different. Some men require more or less testosterone to feel their best. At Limitless Male, we safely monitor your labs and symptoms along the way and adjust your treatment as needed. The only thing cookie cutter about Limitless Male, the incredible results men brag about. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Join us Friday, January 10th as the Lincoln Stars host USA Hockey National Team Development Program for Star Wars Night at the Ice Box. It's the first of two games this weekend, January 10th and 11th, as the Stars take on the U-17s in a pair of games at the Ice Box. Don't forget to join us on Saturday as well, as it's Buddy Pass Night in the capital city. Tickets for both games are available for purchase now, and you can head over to LincolnStars.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
On the block with Strick and Austin.
Wait, pause. I need to know, how many games is this again?
100.
100.
100. And even 100.
And Sip. Yeah, bro. Shut up, Sipple. You can't be saying, listen, you know where I go. What's my spot? They tell me down there they watch the show and they watch Sip, and they told me to tell Sip, stop saying 100. He don't say it like we say it. You say it again how you say it.
100?
100. He says 100.
What's that mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. We're back in effect. Two things before we dive into more of this Penn State. One, wish
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Penn State. Before that, I got a couple friends that are out in LA. They are safe, but if you know anybody, make sure you call and check on them, man. That is the real deal out there.
Yep.
A phone call is easy. You know, it's nobody can imagine it. It looks like a movie, but it's actually real life. Then also, it came out Frank Wycheck, who I played against numerous times. Is from Philly, which is kind of close to my family's hometown in Frederick. Played against him plenty of times. Many players struggle with, head injuries. Frank Wycheck had voiced his. Obviously, it was put to the side, but I guess he had donated his brain, and he did have CTE. So, I think it's his wife, which is more heartbreaking. His son said he finally has some relief because of the issues that he was able to see, his dad. So it doesn't affect just Frank, he was a big dude, good player, solid player. But the family is as well. So,
he's a Maryland guy.
Yeah.
We had him. He did a lot of stuff with us in my club. He did a lot of charity stuff while he was at Maryland, and then when he was a rookie with the Redskins, he spent his summer interning with me. And he would go get behind bar and tell stories and hang out and take pictures and do the whole thing. And then when he progressed and moved, got released after the replacement team, then he went to Tennessee and built his career and did his thing. But he would stay in touch. And when we talk about sports, far too often, and I'm glad you brought it up, we talk about it from a distance, not knowing that you're talking about people who are going through stuff. It's real life stuff. For him, his family didn't know which Frank was going to come home, right? You didn't know what you were going to get because, quite frankly, he didn't have control. And it happens far too often. And I'm glad you brought it up because Frank was as good a person in sports that you can find. His brain was broke. And the things that he suffered and the things that he put his family through, not on purpose. He wasn't a bad person. He was struggling because his processes weren't the same. And I'm sad that he's not here because Frank was joy. He was a joyful human being. Jay, am I wrong in that?
Yeah, he was a good dude, man. I mean, it's obviously I saw him throw the Music City Miracle, but he was a good dude. And for a Tennessee Titans team at that point in time that didn't have a lot of good dudes on it, I felt he was a breath of fresh air. Played clean, played hard.
Yeah.
And I always talk about Mark Duffner, who was the Cincinnati linebacker coach. I was telling Austin, who not trained me, but worked me out. He knew that's how I kind of befriended Frank, and so when I got drafted, actually Buffalo, Mark still called me, said, good luck and so forth and like that. And then before we played Frank, he said, hey, make sure you go say what's up to him. And then we kind of had like a, see him after the game and, check on each other.
Great golfer.
Yeah. Great dude. I mean, just a good, solid dude and a good, good time, real like easy going. So, good, I hated that he had to fight for the things with the NFL for, he had to spend that much time while he was pretty much dying, which is like
can I ask
a
you
year
a question?
ago.
Can I ask you this? So there's another buddy in that same space, Craig McEwen, who played with Washington, San Diego. Was a part of the replacement team and played so well that he made the team. CTE, full issue in place. And I've been asked by several people from NFL alumni to have a discussion with Craig on air. I think it would be important if you're willing to be a part of it, Jay, because you're able to ask some questions that may seem odd coming from me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a battle. I mean, I think I've had like 30, 40 concussions. I mean, it's not a
say that number again, because I think
and I've had some bad ones where not, I've had some bad ones, but it was just part of the deal. So it's you know, it's a daily type of battle, you know, that you got to, you know, deal with.
An in-game battle, right?
Yeah.
That you take the hit and then you still play through. And a lot of
Well,
times
back then, yeah. I mean,
right,
yeah,
like
back then you played and you know, obviously now times are, you know, a little bit different, you know, for these guys. So, you know, they are in a better position. But, you know, for the times that like when I played against Frank and, you know, played against guys like Sam Gash and those guys, you know, we locked horns pretty, you know, pretty readily, like Moran Norris and you know, it can turn, you know, your life can, you know, every day is a blessing and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you know, appreciate it. You know, I just, you know, obviously you see Frank's name here. You know, you got the college football playoffs tonight. You got NFL playoffs starting in a day or two or this weekend or whenever it is. And sometimes, you know, there's so many guys that come through. It'd be no different if somebody played at Nebraska, then you can kind of like just look at a name and not understand, you know, what it's not just a name. It's no different than a coach getting fired. It's not just the coach getting fired. It's the assistant coach, the kids, the you know, the extended family, the friends, neighborhood people. Now, some people earn the obviously we've seen earn getting fired, but Frank earned everything that he was able to accomplish, and on top of it, he was as good as dude as good as competitor as I went against.
winning the broadcast, had success.
Yeah, I had to, you know, it's tough, man. It's tough. But anyways, want to, you know, give him a shout out just because I see it and I know it's, you know, dear to me because, you know, I know exactly what it feels like. But Notre Dame and Penn State, you know, the quirky James Franklin that came to Penn State and his whole thing was, if you remember, I'm reading here his famous quote, and I wonder if he said it to Marcus Freeman. I doubt he did, but he was saying, you know, he was at Vanderbilt, right? You know, reading his bio here, and then his quote was, "I only hire I only hire assistant coaches that have good-looking wives because that lets me know you can recruit."
Hey, man, say it.
Well, now you got NIL, you don't have to worry about it. Now you just, you know, but
say it.
That's James Franklin in a nutshell. Then you have Marcus Freeman, who played at Houston for a year or two, has battled some tough injuries, really worked his way up. Tough guy. Played at Ohio State College, but played it for Houston and took Luke Fickell's defense to a whole new level to where Brian Kelly we said, I want some of that. And then obviously he's taken Notre Dame to a whole new level. And so they're going to lock horns tonight. You got two. I mean, essentially, it's a toss-up game. I think it's going to come down to which team doesn't turn the ball over, but neither team turns the ball over. Which quarterback is playing well? They're both playing well in their own rights. What defense is playing well? They're both playing well. What special teams play well? They're both playing well. So this game right here is going to probably be a white knuckle, low scoring, like old school football game. This is going to be who breaks first, what player plays. And I always say this, these games will be won by your second and third tier stars. So who has a great game on defense that isn't
You didn't account for them as priority one.
Right.
Somebody steps up
Right.
and they actually make the play.
Yeah, whether it's Abdul Carter's like co-partner that have to play his position, or a defensive back that starts out with a big pass breakup and gets a tip interception, kind of like they saw it like against Boise. Everything was going.
Or a special teams play, cough,
Right.
cough, Georgia, cough, cough.
Right. I mean, if you talk about taking the life out of a team in Georgia who probably felt like in the second half we're going to wear these dudes down, the game was over, and so whatever coach decides to call and whatever team executes the first, I wouldn't call it a trick play, but a situationally tricky play, right? Oh, I'll go for it on fourth down and say you normally have been running it, but then you run some sort of bootleg, not this, you know, hike it and you get the ball, then you try to do it to the Patrick Mahomes and do that. No, a new wrinkle to an old play to get it to your star player in a crucial time. Whoever does that early, and that will kind of take control of the game.
Do you think Kotelnicki's the guy to do that for Penn State?
I think he is. And how they can really scheme up getting worn the football. I think this game is going to come down to how Penn State can get Drew Aller on schedule faster than Notre Dame getting Riley Leonard going. Because I trust Riley Leonard more, but I think Drew Aller has a.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, he's older. And he's a basketball player. He's a competitor, and
Interesting.
he has new life.
Riley Leonard, who isn't throwing the ball downfield.
No,
the last half of the year, you trust him more.
Here's what I mean by trusting him, Austin. See, you're always thinking about stats. There, you're just a little young millennial. You're thinking about stats. I trust Riley Leonard. Here, I'll say it a little bit, not to lose the game early. Steady. He right.
But who do you trust to win the game more late?
Now, I will say this: if Drew Aller gets off early, on schedule, easy throws, no drops, and they find ways to scheme up Warren, the tight end, as a safety net, then I trust Drew Aller to be the closer more than Riley Leonard.
Which coach do you trust more?
I don't know, man. This is just personal.
You don't trust these coaches for different reasons. Freeman because you haven't seen him, Franklin because you have.
No, I don't trust James Franklin because it just seems like it's always something with him. He just seems like the dude that he's at the family like reunion at the church and he spikes the punch. And then you got the pastor and then you got the congregation.
And he giggling.
He giggling
the whole time.
And then you can't trust Marcus Freeman. You know who Marcus Freeman is? You know who he is? He's the dude at like whatever gym you go to, and he's working everybody out. But he's the dude the most buff, but he's got to wear the tight clothes. Can't trust you, bro.
And he gonna miss spotting somebody because a cute girl.
Oh, he gonna be like the dude in Detroit. They said that got sued. That was looking at somebody, and the dude broke his arm or whatever.
Yeah,
he actually went to jail or something, right? Didn't he? It was like a whole bunch of
he's gonna be really good for like 3 sets. But the fourth set, you're going to get up in there, you're going to look, and he's just going to get distracted for a minute, and that's going to end up on your chest.
Or Marcus Freeman is the dude that has everybody watch you. He's spotting you, and you max out at, I don't know, 2 or 315, and he gets on the bench and
just to show you.
Yeah, just to
show you. Let me pop this up. Yeah, that's a good rep.
I would probably say experience. Experience obviously lends to James Franklin, but I just think there was something about that game, Notre Dame on the road against Texas A&M, that was different than any other Notre Dame. I think his connection, and you don't want to say this and taking away from James Franklin either, but I think his connect, and this is why I say that the way you build a coaching staff is significantly different. It's got to be different. The sense that the players get with Marcus Freeman is different, and that's what can lead you to do extraordinary things when you have not been extraordinary in these situations. Neither team has, but in particularly
beating Georgia is a program change,
right? But they've never been able to do that before. No matter they've always cowered in these situations.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Notre Dame's 0-2 at the crib. They're 0-2 at Hard Rock Stadium. Lost to Bama in the national championship game, and then 41-8 to Miami 4 years later.
Different Irish,
but big moment still.
Different Irish.
Hopefully that Georgia game has changed something.
I just think when you can connect with players from a player's perspective, and you're talking their language, and you're challenging them to a different level, and you are in it to win it. It is a different. You saw it when they went down to Texas A&M. Normally that Notre Dame team we got the breaks.
I don't want to do to them what people did to Nebraska before the win.
What's that?
Before the first win. All the conversation. I'm old enough to remember the pre-national championship conversations about Nebraska. Oh, Nebraska's going to Nebraska. They're absolutely going to do that. And the reality is a different group came in who didn't have the luggage and saying, you know what? I don't care what my older brother did.
Or they just said enough is enough.
I need to get this too.
I think they got a little bit more enough of enough.
Right. That could be this year's Notre Dame team.
Yeah, I think that's
or Penn State team.
Right. And that's the problem. You got two teams looking across at each other and they looking right at their twin. Because you got two teams that think they're elite. They definitely are the frat boy type of.
I kept thinking of Nebraska, looking at both of them.
No, but these two teams, when you look at Penn State,
Nebraska.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
When you look at Penn State and their alumni, they walk around with their nose in the air. Their fan base, nose in the air. Notre Dame, self-explanatory, right? Right. Typically, think they're elitist, as they are. Obviously with their alumni and their fan base is that very wealthy. Same with Penn State. The players are the same.
I don't know Penn State's fight song.
It don't matter.
I just thought about, like, I know Notre Dame's, I know Texas, I know Ohio State's. I do not know Penn State's fight song. And for a blue blood, you kind of have to, right? Or you should.
I don't know Notre
Am I
Dame.
being disrespectful?
I mean, to be honest with you, DP, I didn't even know my fight song until I had to go do it as a rookie. I mean, that is the honest. You talk about, like, I always, when people ask me about, going into your first training camp, of course I was nervous because I was.
You're the young guy.
Right.
You're the rookie.
And you got to go. It's a job now, and you got to, you don't want to get embarrassed, get cut. You don't want to get embarrassed because you're not good enough. You wonder if you're good. All that stuff is natural. I was more nervous for when or if the time came, or when the time would come that I would have to go sing.
Oh, the rookie show was
yeah, we didn't do the rookie show, but you would be. I mean, listen. I had a routine that I escaped it for 95% of training camp. And the dang special teams coach and the linebacker coach were talking to me about, I'm going to, play a role. And it made me late from when I could sneak in there and get lunch when the veterans were gone.
Foreman.
Here's what they did. They had the cafeteria glasses that were like super thick. Bing, 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 bing. And I was the only one in there. And that's when they all went in. So I would go in, I would shower, go eat, then come back and lift. They'll go rest. Because by the time they was over there, I'm out of there. They got me. Austin,
did you sing it or did you hum? What'd you do?
I sang it a little bit. I tried my best. And I got to give a shout out to Dogo Stakar because before I left for the training camp, I think he either printed it off and I went over. And I literally would as I would fill up with gas as I was driving to training camp, I'd be looking at it.
Can you sing?
No.
Can you sing better than Strick?
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm by myself in the car, I'll when Mike Jack come on, I'll sing, or I'll sing like some Christmas songs or something. But yeah, I'm not. No.
Luther.
No way.
The ball is.
Yeah, I ain't singing.
Jay Foreman singing the Nebraska fight song.
Oh my God, it was
horrible. Look.
It was so bad. Ted Washington was like, all right, enough.
we good.
Then they just made fun of me. It was.
Here's those local courts for talking, not singing for us.
It was Ted, Marcellus, Wiley, who's obviously in the news now. I had an interesting conversation with him last night. Big Daddy Pat Williams, Bruce Smith. It was all of them. And they just said, you know what, stop singing. And then they just roasted me because I was slew-footed.
You have a great voice for audibles.
Well, the funny thing is, because I was slew-footed, like when I'd be calling the defense, and they'd be making fun of me like while I was playing.
That's
Big Daddy Ted, man. That's my dude, man. So, anyways, we're gonna take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy before we have the college football playoffs. Light skin to win. One of them gonna win tonight.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna give our picks. I'm telling you right now, I'm going with Penn State. I have to go with Penn State. I probably think Notre Dame's going to win. I'm going with Penn State. I'm only going with Penn State because I'm down 2 games in my pick'em, so I'm going with Penn State. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, partly sunny skies this morning, then a chance of snow this afternoon. It'll be breezy too with the high near 38. Tonight, mainly cloudy and breezy with the low around 21. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies return. The high near 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovoma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. It's the Pick'em segment. I think the game kicks off here in about 35 minutes, according to this clock. I'm going with Penn State. I'm going with Penn State for number one. I hate Notre Dame. I hate everything about Notre Dame. I've always hated Notre Dame. I like Marcus Freeman. I hate him tonight. I like Xavier Watts. I hate him tonight. I even hate Penn State, but I hate Penn State less than I hate Notre Dame. Period. James Franklin has the face you want to punch. He's the funny uncle that takes it too far, right?
The uncle you meet for the first time, you think he's cool, and then you get to know him.
Yeah, and he thinks he's cool with you when you're not. And he the same things that he used to do to you when you're a little kid, he thinks he can do to you when you're an adult. That's James Franklin. But I'm going with Penn State tonight. I think it's going to be 24-20.
I hate doing the pick 'em. So then that becomes who I'm rooting for. And there's just the nth part of me that I want my Notre Dame friends happier than my Penn State friends. My Penn State friends,
They different.
They
LeVar Arrington is different.
like I want them happy, but I also know the friction that comes from them being happy about Penn State football. Like I'm going to have to listen to this for the next 7 days, and I'm just not built for it. Like I'm just not, because I'll use my middle finger several times to get to that. But the same thing applies for Notre Dame. Their fans are just going to irritate. So, final possession, whoever has the ball last wins. That's what I'm going to say.
Austin?
I think Penn State's a little better. Somehow I trust Penn State a little bit
That's
more.
my man right there. That's
But wait,
this dude
I'm not
here.
making a pick yet. Jay, you know how I roll.
Psych.
You know how I operate.
Psych.
I think Ohio State's going to beat Texas. We'll get into that tomorrow, I'm sure. I don't want an all Big Ten championship game.
I think it's what
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
The
Give
national
Nebraska credit.
championship game I would rather see is Ohio State Notre Dame, even if I would prefer Penn State win this game.
It makes for a terrible offseason in the Big Ten.
No,
if,
that's
if,
what you want.
If both
It makes
teams in the Big
Nebraska
Ten,
I hate conference rooting.
But it makes Nebraska better.
I hate conference rooting.
You're a turncoat.
It doesn't make Nebraska
such
better.
thing.
It ain't gonna
I
help
hate
Nebraska
conference
win no
rooting.
games.
It's not going to help them, but
It ain't gonna
I
help
think
them
Penn State's the better team. I think Penn State
Listen,
wins.
I can tell you this. You do not want Texas anywhere near that last game.
Correct.
Period. And you do
Amen.
not want Notre Dame
The
anywhere
truth,
near that
I want
last
them
game.
both to lose.
Holla.
That's the real, like,
I'm not even rooting for it. I just
Hand to heaven.
that's where I'm at. Yep.
I need Penn State to win. I need to not pay for
I
this
will
steak
watch
dinner.
it.
I'll root for Penn State for you, Jeff.
I need to not pay for this steak.
I'm gonna root. You know what? I'll end up happening. I'm gonna root for whoever's on defense.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
As long as Penn State wins by 1 point. I'm
Whoever's
good.
on defense has got me.
Yeah. Anyways, Jay Foreman, DP Austin. Tuning in 6:30. I'm reluctant to say go Navy Line or whatever. Anyways, old school. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit LOVBOMA.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive.